For most of human history, humanity had exactly one reliable alarm clock, and it was a deeply unstable bird. Every morning, before sunrise, before electricity, before clocks, before factory sirens, one animal would stand in the darkness and begin screaming with absolute confidence that morning was about to happen. And somehow, it was almost always correct. The rooster has spent thousands of years bullying humanity awake, and we collectively decided this was acceptable behavior. It isn't. Because when you really think about it, this creature is doing something bizarre. It predicts the sunrise before it happens, then loudly announces it like a medieval town crier having a complete emotional breakdown. And scientists eventually discovered something even stranger. Roosters don't crow because they see the sun. They crow because their bodies already know it's coming, which means your local farm rooster is essentially operating on ancient biological software older than civilization itself. Welcome to Ordinary Things, Deep History. And today we're talking about why roosters scream at invisible sunlight. For centuries, humans believed the explanation was simple. Sun rises. Rooster sees light. Rooster crows. Case closed. And honestly, that sounds perfectly reasonable. Most animals react to sunlight. Humans do too. Light hits your eyes, your brain starts waking up, and suddenly you remember taxes exist. Basic biology. Except roosters immediately ruin this theory by being unnecessarily committed to chaos. Because farmers notice something strange. Roosters often crow long before sunrise, not a few minutes before, sometimes nearly 2 hours earlier. Complete darkness outside. No sunlight, no visible dawn. Just one bird confidently announcing a morning nobody else can see yet. Which raised a very uncomfortable question. How does the rooster know? At first, people assumed the birds were reacting to tiny environmental changes humans couldn't detect. Maybe slight temperature shifts, maybe invisible changes in the sky. But none of those explanations fully worked. Because roosters weren't crowing randomly. They were incredibly consistent, almost suspiciously consistent. And eventually scientists realized something unsettling. The rooster might actually have its own internal sense of time. So in 2013, researchers at Nagoya University in Japan decided to investigate this properly. And to do that, they essentially created the world's strangest chicken laboratory. Several roosters were placed inside a controlled environment with artificial lighting schedules. For weeks, the birds lived under a perfectly timed cycle. 12 hours of bright light, 12 hours of dim light. Eventually, the roosters adapted and crowed shortly before the artificial sunrise every morning. So far, nothing surprising. Then the scientists changed everything. They removed the sunrise completely. No changing lights, no dawn simulation, no environmental clues whatsoever. The room remained in constant dim lighting for weeks. And somehow, the roosters still crowed at nearly the exact same time every day. Without the sun, without dawn, without any visible signal at all. Which proved something remarkable. The rooster wasn't reacting to the morning. Its body was generating the schedule internally. Essentially, the rooster already knew what time sunrise was supposed to happen. Which is impressive, and slightly annoying. This internal system is called a circadian rhythm. Which sounds like something a billionaire wellness influencer would mention on a podcast, but it's actually one of the most important systems in biology. Almost every living thing on Earth has some form of internal clock. Humans have one too. It controls sleep, hormone production, body temperature, metabolism, and energy levels. It's also why your brain occasionally wakes you up 3 minutes before your alarm just to make sure you suffer twice. But rooster circadian rhythms are unusually precise. Long before sunrise appears, their hormones begin changing. Their brains become more alert. Their bodies start preparing for the coming day. And eventually, the crowing begins. Essentially, the rooster's body starts running a scheduled biological announcement every morning, whether anyone asked for it or not, which is impressive for an animal that regularly loses arguments with fences. But the story gets even stranger, because not every rooster gets to crow first. Rooster society operates through a strict dominance hierarchy called the pecking order. And unlike most scientific terminology, this one sounds exactly as violent as it actually is. Inside every flock, there is an alpha rooster. The dominant bird, the ruler, the feathered dictator managing local chicken politics. And researchers discovered that the alpha rooster always crows first at dawn. Always. The lower-ranking roosters wait patiently for him to finish before making their own calls. Then the second rooster crows, then the third. like some bizarre aristocratic ceremony invented entirely by birds. And if the alpha rooster disappears, the second-ranking rooster immediately takes over the position. No election, no debates, no transition of power, just instant chicken succession. Human governments could genuinely learn from this efficiency. And the reason this hierarchy matters is because crowing isn't just noise, it's territory. When a rooster crows, he's effectively broadcasting a message across the landscape. I'm here. This territory belongs to me, and every other rooster should stay away. Which explains why one rooster crowing often triggers several others nearby. They're not having a conversation. They're threatening each other from different farms like tiny, feathery warlords. And the louder and earlier the crowing, the more dominant the rooster appears. Meaning your peaceful countryside sunrise is actually a non-stop political dispute happening at maximum volume. Humans noticed this behavior very early in history. Ancient civilizations everywhere gave symbolic importance to roosters. In ancient Greece, roosters represented vigilance and aggression. In China, the rooster became one of the 12 zodiac animals. In medieval Europe, churches placed rooster symbols on towers because the bird represented dawn and watchfulness. Which sounds noble until you remember the animal spends most of its day aggressively judging vegetables. But historically, roosters really were important. Before mechanical clocks existed, humans depended heavily on natural rhythms to organize daily life. And the rooster became one of the world's most reliable biological signals. Farmers woke up to it. Workers started their day with it. Entire villages structured routines around it. For thousands of years, civilization itself partially operated on rooster time, which is absurd when you realize this system depended entirely on one extremely confident bird screaming into darkness. And despite modern technology, the behavior hasn't changed. Right now, somewhere on Earth, a rooster is standing outside in complete darkness, preparing to announce a sunrise that hasn't happened yet. Because evolution programmed it to. A daily ritual repeated across thousands of years of human history, long before smartphones, long before clocks, long before modern civilization itself. So the next time a rooster wakes you up at an unreasonable hour, remember, you are not hearing random noise. You are listening to one of the oldest biological traditions on Earth. A prehistoric internal clock, wrapped inside a deeply overconfident bird with monarchy issues. And somehow, it still works better than half the alarm apps on your phone. Thanks for watching Ordinary Things, Deep History. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more strange stories hiding inside ordinary things. Because history becomes much weirder once you start paying attention.